I'm the founder of Nora's Books. So I'm just talking to you today from the convention I'm attending. I love the background here. I don't know how much you can see the bridge. I don't know. Can you see? Oh, now you can see, I guess. And the view from the convention center is beautiful. Like, the window is not the best, but I couldn't find a quiet area. Other than this, it's lunchtime and I just don't want to eat, so I thought I want to talk to you before the next session started. Before the next session starts. And so I want to talk to you about expenses versus investments. So as a business owner or a nonprofit leader, whatever nonprofit is just a tax code, basically, but you're still running a business if you have nonprofit, even though you might think, oh no, I don't want to treat my nonprofit as a business. It is a business, and if you don't treat it as a business, then you're not going to succeed. So what I want to talk to you about today is how would you decide, like, if this is an expense or if this is an investment. So for example, if you are in your personal life, if you want to buy a car that is necessary to take you you're working, let's say you are doing Uber or doing your job relying on your car, and that's gonna generate an return on investment, then this is an investment. But if it's just like for personal interest, for anything, that's an expense. But sometimes it is necessary expense, right? So it is necessary to get a car that takes you from A to B, but is it necessary to have a luxurious car? No, unless you want to, but this is not necessary. So this is an expense. In business, before you make a decision whether this is necessary or unnecessary, you want to see the consequences, you want to see if there is a return on investment. And sometimes, even though you won't see a direct return on investment, still you have to make this, I'm gonna still say investment, because it's gonna save you later on in life. So one of the very necessary investments or expense, whatever you want to name it, but still I see it personally as an investment, is your employee, right? But if it's necessary, your employee are investments. Or if you want to spend money on marketing, you might not see the result right away, but if you are not doing marketing, then people won't know, like, who are you, what are you doing. They don't know you exist, right? So this is one of the things you might not see the effect right away, but it will pay off if you're doing it right, if you are following the rules for it, like if you know the science of it, if you know how to do it, it's gonna pay off. A very, very important expense is not really an expense, in my opinion, is just to have your books straight. Whether you are a business, nonprofit, any type of formation that you choose to do, you have to do good bookkeeping, a good accounting, a good projecting, financing. It's going to save you so much time later on. So, but bookkeeping and accounting, just to make sure, like, you recognize all revenue, you expense all the expense in the right category, all of these stuff, you have to have it right, because if you don't have it right, then at the end of the day, it's gonna cost you maybe your business. Maybe you have to close. Maybe you are forced to close if you are a nonprofit, if you're not doing things right. So you don't want to deal with that. So you want to make sure you prioritize your books. You do your accounting right. Don't bargain for the cheapest bookkeeper who might not do or might not know what should be done for your circumstances. It's not something you can just pick the cheapest for it, right? It's not something you're buying. It's not a chair, right? You need to know, like, you are having the right person who knows how to deal with your books, who knows what to do, who's updated with the regulation. And also, when you hire that person, you want to make sure you hire the full package. It's not like basic bookkeeping. So basic bookkeeping is just doing the books, just reconciliation, categorization, that's it. But in order to be really compliant, in order to be really saved later on for any audit, for any things, you need to really make sure you have all the documentation, you have all the agreements, you have like full compliance with what you are required to do. And that won't be included in a basic bookkeeping that you usually, if you don't know the value and what you should be doing, you're just shopping around and bargaining and try to get the cheapest. This is not how it should happen. This is not gonna save you. You want to really make sure you have the right person. You want to make sure you have the right package that will really save you a lot of headache down the road, especially if you are a nonprofit. It needs more attention. You could lose your exempt status. It needs a lot of special rules, like you are required to do so much more than if you are a business who is not tax exempt. You need to make sure you follow those rules for you not to lose your exempt status, for you not to be forced to just close your doors, for you not to get your board members in trouble or yourself and your management in trouble. You want to make sure you do the full compliance package. That's the minimum. Now, if you want to really do furthermore an investment, okay, let me just say before that, this might not seem like an investment for you, but in fact it is an investment, because you'll be saving so much money you could spend later for audits, even if you whether you are choosing to do the audit or you are required or you are audited with from the IRS. Regardless of what type of audit, having a good bookkeeping system that is the high package that cares about all the compliance, that will save you a lot of time and effort and money down the road, and heartbreaking. So this is one thing. Now, if you want to take your organization or your business to the next level, you want to look further into KPIs, budgeting, forecasting, checking what's going on and how are you achieving your goal or not achieving your goal. Because if you don't do this, you might save yourself like some money later, but you're not going to grow, you're not going to scale. You want to think of this like your accounting department, and again, it doesn't have to be your accounting department. You can just outsource that, like you can outsource the marketing. It is necessary for your business operation. You have to have it as a pillar. So marketing, accounting, and finance, operation, those are not like, oh, I might have it later. No, you have to have it in the beginning. You have to have it as a foundation. You have to invest on it, even if you don't have enough money for it. You have to figure it out. You have to spend. You shouldn't be cheap on this, because if you are, then you're not going to see the results you want to see. So make sure to fix your mindset on this. Marketing, operation, finance and accounting, those are important part of your business. Those are your investment. Those are your time saver, your money saver down the road. So make sure you are doing what you are supposed to be doing. Make sure you are not going cheap on these. Make sure the person who is doing your accounting, they know what they're doing, they're updated. Things are updated like consistently, whether it's from the IRS, whether it's from GAAP, or all the requirements. Any place where they issue the new regulation, the new requirement, they are updating their rules consistently. So if the person you hire do not know what they're doing, then you'll be in trouble. You'll be in trouble. Now in the virtual world, you can have your entire team outsourced. You can have your entire team virtual, right? So you don't really have, unless you are a store and you need someone like in the store, even though you have to have like people in the store taking care of it, for example, but you still can have your administrative back office virtually. They can be outsourced, so you don't have to pay payroll taxes and other expenses that is not necessary. So you want to be mindful of that. You want to see what make more sense. If you are hiring those people, you want to make sure you're running a good payroll, which taking care of your tax payments and your quarterly and annual filing, so you are not in trouble. Those are the things. Payroll is something that can put you in trouble, whether you are a business, non-profit, anything. Like it's not different. It's the same. You're going to be in trouble because it's a trust account, and you have to make sure you are classifying your employees or independent contractor correctly. And for employees, you want to make sure you are withholding and making those filing with the IRS and your state, and you are paying those money that you are holding for your employees. So sometimes outsourcing will save you so much time, money, and headache down the road. So let's say you're paying for the outsourced financial or accounting department $3,000 or even $5,000. If you outsource, that's a month or so, that is the only expense you have. But let's say if you want to have an experienced accountant, the minimum you will pay if you have an experienced accountant is 5,000 in wages. And maybe she's not going to be that experienced, but okay, this is going to be acceptable level. Then that will be much higher. The end cost it's going to be much higher, because you're going to pay a percentage for payroll taxes, you're going to pay benefits, so it's going to cost you a lot more. So sometimes outsourcing will save you money and also will give you an experience for more than one person. Let's say you hired a professional, and that professional, they do care about what their repetition, they do care of what they're doing, and you got the full service, because you want to make sure also you're getting the full service. If you're just having the basic accounting, you're not going to get the full service. You're not going to get what you might expect to get when you get the full service. Basic is give you the basic. So that person, like when you get the full service, even if they don't know what they're something, you know, they don't know something, and they go ask other professional who might have a lot more experience, and they can have those people actually in their team. So you are hiring multiple people with a lot of experience, who are with being like only one payment for that consultancy, and you're getting all these experience, you're getting all the attention, and you're getting all the benefits. But make sure you are getting the full service in order to have that protection. Otherwise, basic is basic. It's not going to be proactive. It's not going to be well, you know, like, it's not going to be tax planning. It's not going to be a lot of things. So you have to know the thing in order to tell your person who you are hiring that, okay, this is what about this, what about that, and might be another charge for that if it's not included in your service. But if you hire a full package that includes all the compliance, all proactive package, then that will provide all the protection and all the details. But you have to be also you know, like, share all your details, everything that you have from your end with your professional. Otherwise, like, they don't know. If you don't share, they don't know. So make sure you spend your money wise. Make sure you don't go greedy on marketing or on finance and accounting. Make sure you spend the correct you spend your money for the correct service. Make sure you do have this service, because again, it is an investment. It's not an expense. You have to make it. You have to pay this money for your operation. You have to have it in order to be protected later, in order to save time, money, headache later, and a lot of heartbreaking you might face if you don't do it. So that's it for me today. I have been talking to you, and I'll be sharing so much more from the conference right now. I still have half day left, and tomorrow, so 1.5. So we are halfway through, and I just want to share with you this beautiful scene. I love it. I'll talk to you soon, and I'll share more stories until like tomorrow.